Hi everyone, it's your boy Zach, and I keep meaning to mention this. It's totally stupid, has nothing to do with what I'm talking about, but this is a phenomenon that keeps happening to me. Every time I'm at a drive-thru and I say please, they get the order wrong. So I stop saying it, and it's like this weird hack. I also always get a Diet Coke. If I say Coke please, they will give me a Diet Coke every single time. So I stopped saying please or thank you, and then all of my orders are correct now. I don't know, maybe a coincidence. But the other thing I've been laughing about is this is one of those things that once you notice it, you're not gonna ever not notice it. How much cheating was going on in the 30s, 40s, and 50s? Because like every other song was like, boy, oh boy, my dame just won't stop blowing the fellas. It's a real problem. Why, that broad's got more issues than the Saturday Evening Post. Like, all these, like, you know, go into the freaking malt shop. Listen to the lyrics. It's always about the girlfriend cheating, and not just with one guy. Like, she won't stop. Grandma, what were you doing back in the 50s? I think they were just bored. In Afghanistan, whenever we would talk about the Taliban, it was just, like, the common theory was, like, they're just bored. I think 90% of problems is just people being bored. Like, they always talk about, like, why are there fewer serial killers now? I will tell you, streaming. Stranger Things. Watching Silicon Valley seasons 1 through 6. It's just, you don't get bored as easily. There's stuff to do. But anyway, so a couple things happened. Number one is I got bean souped. I mean, pretty much everyone gets bean souped, but I got bean souped after finding out about the bean soup theory. The bean soup theory goes like this. So, a woman, excuse me. I don't have time to edit that out. That wasn't a full burp. That was like, just, let's move on. So this woman on TikTok, she likes bean soup. So she says, hi, I like bean soup. I'm going to make bean soup, and then I'm going to share my recipe for bean soup. And the number one comment is someone saying, what if you don't like beans? Then the other top comments, and these are not like sarcastic or doing a bit. They're like, can I substitute the beans for something else? What if you are allergic to beans? And so it became this thing called bean soup theory, where when you say something, it's not just being a contrarian. It's just like, hey, so I need all the attention on me. So apparently everything I say is super infuriating. There's entire subcultures just like, sex, said something. But I said something I thought was fairly innocuous, and then I said there's this idealization of every, like, DVDs, Blockbuster, as if they were, like, perfect. But I mentioned, like, watching Sex and the City season, whatever, 4 or 5, and the box set that I got from the base library was scratched, and I missed a couple episodes because of that. To which I get bean souped that, well, that's never happened to me. I'm sorry. You've never experienced a damaged DVD. Ever. This reminds me of like a bit from 30 Rock where Liz Lemon was dating, I forget the guy's name. He's like a really handsome guy. And she's mentioning just like common problems that every person has. And he's never had them because he's just so handsome, everything goes his way and everyone just helps him out all the time. Like, are you the handsomest man in the world? You've never had a scratched DVD. Woke Zach jealous lies about DVDs having... No, they fucking had DVDs. Or they had scratches. Like, this... It's not even like rose-tinted glasses looking at the past. It's rose-tinted cataracts. I don't think you're seeing... Even stuff like... if you got a dad who grew up in the, 70s through 90s, and you're like, oh, my dad doesn't really share his feelings, he doesn't talk a lot, I wish we could bond, just go up to him and go, hey, Dad, what was it like to go to Pizza Hut for dinner when you were a kid? I don't care how stoked he was, his eyes will water up. It was absolutely amazing. And yet, not perfect. One thing I distinctly remember was the smoking. So it was the 80s, so the smoking section wasn't like a section, it was a side. It was literally just like one side of the restaurant that's just one large room, and you could smoke on one side of it. To which, yeah, if anyone smoked, you could smell it pretty much everywhere in the, quote, non-smoking section. Also, I remember this very distinctly. Soda, it used to come in these big pitchers, almost always flat. The other thing is there was these distinct red cups, plastic, thick plastic, and anyone who grew up in the 1980s, they knew the sound of one of those hitting the ground because it bounced crazy. But the thing is, I think people would make it bounce on purpose, because I remember it happening like the first time you're like, oh, that's the sound, and the second time it's like, oh, that's funny, and then like with the other tables it would happen like 10 times during your meal. At the end you're like, all right, quit dropping the cups. My point is that nothing you remember as being perfect is even close to perfect. The things that I've heard people say, it's like, oh, I heard someone say every, not most, not, you could pick at random, but every Marvel comic from the 1980s was good. And I can tell you right now, I am restructuring comic book to comic book. Comic book to comic book is a comic book about comic books, but I was like, these are going to be about me collecting comics in the late 80s, early 90s. So I'm going to talk about, because there's a lot of like, not just lore, but just basic knowledge. Like, people just talk about things, but it's like, dude, that was 30 years before you started collecting. Like, you're missing all kinds of parts of it. You're just paraphrasing Wikipedia or like some CBR article. Like, I actually got that. I remember like people were pissed that Wolverine was getting an ongoing. It was considered a cheap cash grab. It's like, no, he's in the X-Men. What? So he's in the X-Men full time, but he's having like all these other adventures in Madripoor. It's like, and like, it was like anger. Like, people were angry. People who liked Wolverine, this is what's so crazy. People who liked Wolverine were angry that he was getting an ongoing series. And that really didn't, because the first couple of years, like, they had Chris Claremont and then Peter David, and then even like John Byrne with Archie Goodwin. See, again, I actually read the comics. People didn't really unclench about and like the Wolverine ongoing series until Larry Hama started writing it. That's when people were like, oh, this is good. It's not just like, oh, just like a random Joe Duffy story. It was like, oh, Wolverine was raised by Wolverines. Yeah, that's the story. It's like, that sucked. But anyway, yeah, so everything that's described as perfect, like 1980s Marvel Comics, Pizza Hut in the 80s, 90s, Blockbuster. Blockbuster was, I have a lot of fond memories of Blockbuster. But I also remember you go in there and it's like, hey, do you want to see Godzilla movie? Good, because we have 200 copies of the VHS tape. Oh, you want to see Miller's Crossing by the Coen brothers? Well, our system says we have one copy. It's been out for 2 years. We can put you on a waiting list. You're going to be waiting forever. Like, it was cool, but like, it's not perfect. And I think, there's this saying, don't let great become the enemy of good. I think this false nostalgia, this insane optimism for a past that was not the way you remember it, makes everything, I've roasted all these YouTubers for, complaining about like Q3 deliverables. But like, I just saw like a normie website do the news article. It's like, Stranger Things Season 5 plummets 60% in the second week. And I'm like, I don't even watch the show, and I know that's not accurate. They're being released in batches. So they get released and you binge it. And yeah, some people, they binge it the next week. But what was supposed to happen? Like, everybody was supposed to keep watching the same batch of episodes until the new episodes come out? Then you're just going to find a new metric. It's like, when the second a batch of episodes came out, viewership of the first episode plummeted by 80%. It's like, it's not American. Like, I've never lived in a world or a country or a culture where, like, the past is perfect and everything. And even you hear these guys, I mean, they're faking reading stuff, they're faking watching stuff. And then when they talk about the good old days, it's like, it's so basic. It's just like, what do you like? Star Wars, Back to the Future, Raiders of the Lost Ark, Ghostbusters. Okay, so you like the shit that everybody likes. So if everyone on the planet likes something, you also like it. What do you hate? Everything else. Usually I can transition to like, oh, I'm kind of wrapping up my ideas. Just like, I just started shaking my head like it's so stupid. But yeah, nothing can compete with an imperfect past that you misremember. Gotta kind of work on the syntax of that one. You understand what I'm saying. Anyway, thanks for watching. Bye.